Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. This is Petal. Hope you are having a fantastic Wednesday wherever you are. Um, I hope you're hearing me well. I'm kind of hearing myself in kind of like an echo, so I hope you're not hearing that. And let me know if you are. I will take these headsets off. But anyways, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula Guy, the chickens, Mama Mia, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've had lots of food in the last couple of days, from our faves. And wanted to do this yesterday, but I was not able to. So thank you for your patience and for coming and hanging out with me for lunch, for your lunch break. And so I am so happy to be here. And I'm happy to be here hanging out with you. But I am so excited to chat. So I know a lot of you may have, talked about this ad nauseum with maybe Baron or Duchess of Success or whatever. I haven't been able to check out their podcast, so I don't know what I'm assuming, that you guys, but I will, I didn't get a chance to, so I love to hear from you guys. um, exactly, your take, what you got out of it. It was so great. And again, I am totally back to my um my shallow self, because again, every episode I feel like, oh no, this one is my favorite, this one is my favorite, this one is my favorite. And so I am back to this one is my favorite. I've since yesterday, I think I've listened to it now 5 or 6 times by now. I just keep listening. There's so much good stuff in there. And I think it's because, obviously talking about the B word and the difficult. And so as a Black woman, these are labels that are often thrown at us. And so it meant a lot. I think this, along with, coupled with the angry Black woman trope. And I think, those two, putting those two together, it's kind of like, I feel like this is like the part two of that episode. And so I am glad she did this. And it's very funny because a squaddy, and I think it's somebody in the comments who mentioned, I think it was last week, I think they mentioned that they would love to see Mellody Hobson on. And for the life of me, I couldn't think of what, and I even said, it would be great, but I what topic would she talk about? And so I wasn't even thinking of this, topic for Mellody at all. And so when it was on, I was like, whoa, that squatty was so, she was so right. So I don't remember who it was, and there's a lot of comments, so I'm not even sure what part to go and look. But I remember responding, and I wasn't feeling very hopeful about it, because I was thinking like the other episodes that she would be talking about. And I didn't know, I assumed she was done with the angry Black woman, difficult woman, because that also came up in that episode as well. And so I thought she was pretty much done with that topic. And so I didn't see, I was like, well, what stereotype we can have for Mellody. And so I was really, so kudos to the squatty for bringing it up there and putting it out there. And I wasn't, I was just not on board with it. And it was just like, she was so right, she was totally right. So lots of stuff happened. But before we even get into that, just want to see and say hi to you guys in the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Before we get too much further into this, I see our Lydia, awesome moderator, is here. Hello, Lydia. And she's thank you, Lydia. Encourage everyone, if you're new here and you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do, and click the notification bell so that you can know when we drop a video. And please like the video and share the video. We are trying to build our community, and the more squatties and all of these platforms, the better, because we could, we got the facts and we'd like to share the facts with others. And so please like and share the video, and also you can join our channel where you can support our channel monthly, and so and be a part of the 2 Cents Crew. So thank you so much, Lydia, for reminding us of this and reminding me to talk about it. So thank you. Nala Thando is here. Hello, Nala Thando is here. How are you? Hope you are well. And our awesome other moderator, Karen M, is here. They are all part of our 2 Cents Crew, including our other 2 Cents Crew member, Elaine Parker, is here. Hello, Elaine, and our Kay Costello, our other 2 Cents Crew. All our 2 Cents Crew is in the house. Hello. Let's see who else is here. Oh, Church Nelly, awesome. 2 Cents Crew. The crew is showing out. Hey, yo, Church Nelly, and we're saying hello to everyone on all our wonderful squaddies in South Carolina. Hello, guys, and Black Queen is here, and Annie is here. Annie Bullard is here, saying hello to everyone as well. And Kathy Gabby is here. Hello, Kathy, and Jan Martin. Yeah, Jan, where are you there? Here we go. Jan Martin is here. And let's see. Who else? Oh, Sistren is here. Sistren is just saying hello to everyone as well. See, I'm so helpful. I'm just helping you all just say your hellos. And Fancy is here. Hi, guys. And Kenetha is here. Hello, Kenetha. How are you? And let's see, Catherine Bryant is here. So wherever Catherine is, it's morning there. So Catherine is saying hi, good morning, and Connie Bauma's here, and Joan Commonwealther, and Mad World. Hi, everyone, welcome. And Janice is here, and Christina, and let's see. Oh, Emma Day is here as well. Hello, Emma Day. So there, everyone else I'll get to as we go along, but welcome everyone. And so I did this poll in our community page, and only a few people responded. I was like, people are probably just they've talked about it at nauseum. They don't want to talk about it anymore. But I did this poll because I saw it on Twitter, and I was like, well, I was very curious among us what we thought about it, because part of what Meghan talked about, and she actually talked about it with Robin Thede in the beginning, is the B word, and how there are some of us as women who have, quote unquote, reclaimed the word, and basically in an attempt to strip it of its power, and embrace it, and where they're referred to themselves as the B word, and they're fine with it. And in case of Robin, she's make comedy out of it. She makes content out of that. And some of us are like, no, I don't want nothing to do with that. Moi included. And obviously from the podcast, we know Meghan wants nothing to do with that word. She's like, it gives me hives, just thinking about it. But I would love to know, from our poll, only 100 and, well, actually, I think I just before I came on, I think it was like 153. I think I took a snapshot of it. Hang on one second. Let me see what my snapshot says. I wanted to get the most updated one before I come on. And it has from 172 votes, 26% have reclaimed it and embraced it, and 74% of us says, I want nothing to do with that. We're completely 100% reject it. So I don't know how many of you here who are in the chat right now are part of the people who responded in the poll, but I would love to know. I'd love to know from you guys what, how you feel about it, what you think about it. Do you think it's, do you believe in that we can literally, we can reclaim a word and strip it of its power, and all of a sudden and embrace it and be okay with it? I know how I feel about that. But I'd love to hear from you guys, and also love to hear from you, just overall, like what what stood out to you and what you took away from the from the episode. I'd love to hear. And I think what I'll do is I'm also going to put the link in the chat. So if you'd like to call me and call and jump on and, for 1 or 2 minutes, just quickly, share with us what you got out of it. And yeah, I'd love to hear. So the link is in the chat right now. And so I'd love to hear from you. Call in 1 or 2 minutes and share with us what you got out of it and or what the B word means to you. Is this something that you've reclaimed or you feel like you could reclaim and embrace and be okay with someone referring to you as that? Or is it something that you just like, no, I don't want to be, So again, the link is there. Just call in or just let me know what you think. And I'm going to, a lot of today is going to be in the chat. So, and I also have a couple of things that I got out of it. So, I'm going to share first thing that I got out of it. One of the things I got out of it. So I love what Meghan, when she was talking, I think she was after Lucy Cook had shared. Lucy Cook is, obviously one of the their authors, and she's a zoologist that was on the podcast. She says, Meghan says the truth is the labeling of women as a B word or as difficult, because she correlates the two, they're like cousins, she calls them, is often a deflection, a way to hide some of the real awesome qualities. Her persistence, her strength, her perseverance, her strong opinion, maybe even her resilience. And those are very qualities we're gonna be uncovering today, which is what she did with Mellody and Victoria and Robin and Allison. And yeah. And so I'm gonna go through the chat, and again, if you want to call in, please do and share with us. So let's see as I go through here. Church Nelly says, I responded, no, of course. The B word does apply to, okay. And okay. So she's like, nope, not for her, but she applied it to others. Okay. Interesting there. Let's see what else. Thank you, Church Nelly. Let's see. Compton Kelly says, oh, she is watching The Crown. Okay, well, get back to us after The Crown. I don't know. I'm still deciding if I'm watching The Crown, and I don't know. I am still deciding. Yeah. Black Queen says, Church Nelly, correct. I don't claim it, but I will not hesitate to dish it out where it is well deserved. Okay. So she doesn't claim it for herself, but if I guess you're saying if someone is behaving in that way, then you would not feel bad to dish it out to them. Okay, it's interesting. Okay. Norma says, don't like that word. Okay. I totally understand there. Yep. Let's see. Connie says, I refuse to impress that word. We are so worthy. Okay, thank you, Connie. Thank you. It's very interesting. I love, it's such for me, I look at it as the way I think of, say, the N word, because it has the same thing where, there's a group as, among us that as Black and people of color who there for them, it's like, no, I'm reclaiming that word and I'm stripping it of its power. And they're fine with saying it to each other and referring to each other by that name. And I personally feel the same way I feel about the B word. I feel the same way about the N word. So for me, it's a no. And so, but it's so many of us think differently. And I love that Meghan had Robin on there who thinks very differently about the word, and then she have two other women who it's like, no, see another way. I mean, Meghan has hives, as she says, when she thinks of the word, and and so I just it's just very interesting how where we are with whether it's literally someone saying or referring to you as that word, or as Meghan said, the cousin to that is difficult, which she says, and which I totally believe as well. A lot of people, when they say you're difficult, is a lot of times it's like code word for the B word. And so I was like, yep, very true. I totally get that. Oh, and Church Nelly is saying the same thing. Yeah, to me, the B word is as offensive as the N word. Don't use either. Okay, there you go. I feel the same. I feel that, and I definitely, for me, I would never refer to myself or in any of those. So yeah. And his sister is like, nope, not reclaiming that word. So there you go. And that's the thing for me. The question that I have with that reclaiming that word, I never it has never made sense to me. Because the first time I was hearing that was with the N word, and so many people's like, no, we're reclaiming that word, and then not only that, we're changing it, and it's going to be Nigga instead of Niger, and so we're claiming it, we're stripping it of its power, and we then get to use it among each other. We get to make money off of it when we put it in songs and all of those things. But then if a white person call you the word, you get upset. Or a white person is singing that word that a black rapper or whomever put it in there, then people get upset. And I'm like, but I thought you said it was stripped of its power. Which is why none of that ever made any sense to me. And also, even when you think in terms of, say, with Robin, she even says if a guy or somebody calls her the B word, she might get into like, oh, excuse me. But if she could say it among her girlfriends, and then she used it in a positive way by expressing their positive attributes. But if a guy will, say that to her, then she'd have an issue. And again, I feel the same way. It's like, well, I thought you said it was stripped of its power. So if it's stripped of its power, then why does it bother you if a guy or maybe somebody you like or respect or look up to or whatever say that to you? Why then does it bother you if it's stripped of its power? So it never made any sense to me. It didn't make sense when I first heard it, and it still doesn't make sense to me. I don't know how you reclaim a word. Like I don't know, maybe it's just me and I just hadn't paid attention, but I don't know any other race or culture in society, for example, say the Jewish race or culture or whatever. I never heard them reclaiming any derogatory word against them and stripping it of their power. It's like, no, you do something against them, they're on you. They are not reclaiming any of it. And they're like, that is derogatory. That is, whatever. And so I never understood why we do it. And so the more I think about it, and I think it's like, well, is it a way, like a coping mechanism, so that way we don't feel so hurt when someone, in the year of our Lord 2022 is still saying those things to us? Is it just, I mean, I understand coping mechanisms. I understand ways to sort of numb it so it doesn't hurt as much. But then why don't we just say that instead of we strip it of its power? But if one of those people say it to us, then we still get hurt. So then it's not stripped of its power, And I don't know how you reclaim it. Like, I don't understand. It just doesn't make sense to me how you do it. So that's why I'm like, well, maybe I'm the only one. It's like this thing in my head. Like none of that makes any sense to me. And I don't understand why you would want to reclaim it. Why So, and for me, on the other hand, it's like, well, isn't that taking away, like, if something is that offensive, and someone is saying it, and I mean, for me, when I think of people who say the N-word at us, they are very clear when they throw it what they mean. It's not stripped of its power for them. they are very, very clear on why they would say it to me or someone. If they, refer to me as the B word or difficult or whatever, they're very clear. It's never a positive, oh, I'm just saying it because, oh, we're just friends and we're just hanging out, so I'm just going to call you the N word or the B word. Like, it's never in a situation like that. And so maybe there are people that are in situations like that with a person who normally would throw it at you as an attack and it'd be okay. But I've never been in that situation. So I'm just very curious. Maybe you could tell me, maybe I'm just wrong, or maybe I need to live more, I guess. But it's very confusing to me. So I just kind of want to hear from you. V. Thomas says, I dislike the B word for myself, but if I use it, don't use the full pronunciation and spell out the word because I really find it offensive. There you go. Okay. Thank you, V. Thomas. Let's see. Mad World says the N-word is in a whole different playing field for me. People was and is still being killed around it, and the B word not so much. Okay, so they have different different price. Yeah, okay. There you go. Thank you so much, Mad World. Let's see. Karen Bryant says, I don't care for the word. In my younger days, if someone called me that, I would say that word, and I'll show you, okay, that word, the B word, but it doesn't bother my girls. Okay, so different generation. I guess it's thrown around more, so it doesn't have the same effect, I guess. Let's see. Pedal, could you remove the banner so I could vote? Oh, you know what? This is you'd have to go on our community page to vote. This is just a screenshot of that. So on our community page, you would I think it's the second post there from the top. I think it's the second or third post from the top. You'll find it. This is just a screenshot of that. So yes, definitely in a community page, just go to our channel community page and you'll see it there to vote. Yeah, this is just a screenshot, so you won't be able to vote. Yeah, on this. So, let's see. Beverly says the N word, B word, or F word are all demeaning to be, and I never use it in my vocabulary. Okay, thank you, Beverly. Cool. Let's see. Joseph Bruno. Joseph says, I don't like when women call each other the B word. Okay. What does that, if you can elaborate a little, Joseph, what does that mean to you, or what does it say to you when you hear it? I'd love to hear, if you want to, no pressure, but I'd love to hear, what it does to you or mean to you or says to you, if and when you hear women call each other the B word. Let's see. And it's so funny. I kind of just jumped so far into it that I just, for those of you who have not seen or who have not watched it or had a moment to watch or listen to the episode, the link is in our community page. If you haven't, it's also in the show notes of this video or this live. So if you want to jump there now or later, I'll do it later after we're done. But it's there. If you haven't yet listened to it, please do. And amazing. But it is just, again, I feel like, every episode I'm like, oh, this is my favorite. But this is just so in depth and deep. And, every person on there is so incredibly deep. I mean, I don't know, it hit me in a way. Like last week I thought, okay, this is definitely my favorite. And now it's like, this one is like, oh my gosh, this is definitely my favorite. So And I'm sure I'll be there next week again. But I think it's a testament to Meghan and her team and the people that they brought in, that every single week it's just so meaty and so deep, and it's like I learned so much, and it's just like, I'm like, so many people are saying, can it just be longer? Can you make it like an hour and a half, Meghan? I just want to hear more. And so, just in case you don't know, it's the episode is called "The Be To Be or Not to Be," as in the B word. And it's in this dynamic episode, Meghan explores the origin and the plague of the B word and its cousin, difficult, and how these terms are often wrongly applied to a strong-minded woman, especially in business. In deep and meaningful conversations with trailblazers Mellody Hobson and Victoria Jackson, Meghan investigates the language used to gaslight women as they grow their careers as entrepreneurs and on the corporate ladder. Creator and writer Robin Thede also joins Meghan, along with author Alison Yarrow and zoologist and author Lucy Cook. And so that's what it's about. And I actually have a photo. There we go. There we are. That's that's Mellody on the left, and that's Victoria on the right, and then that's Robin in the middle there with her hands by her ears, and that's Alison Yarrow, author. She is on the right, and that's Lucy Cook, who is the zoologist, and the author on the left. I should have put their names there, but I didn't. So yes, I know who they are. I'm sure we all know who they are. And so these fantastic women, along with Meghan, and for me, the best one so far. And one of the things, and I think a lot of us would remember, I think it was last year that Meghan did the Times Deal Book Online Summit with Mellody, and Mellody is also her mentor. And so it was just wonderful to, for them to be together again. And one of the things they talked about, which I realized it's the same thing that sort of grated on me when Mellody said it in the summit. But it was crouch. What is it called? Crouch and conquer, where you kind of like make yourself smaller so that you could win over someone. And it grated me when she said it there. And it still grated me when she said it here. And I was like, okay, I am not settled with this in my mind. And I remember one of our squaddies here, when I talked about it the last time, she did a great explanation for me when she talked about it's about meeting people where they are. And it's about, it's sort of like becoming all things to all people, so that way you can reach them. There's actually a biblical scripture that says that, but it's the same way. It's kind of like, meeting, somebody may, like I say, somebody just coming into the company might be insecure and all of those things. And, you want to meet them where they are, so that way you can help them to get to where you want them to get to. But in the way how she says in how it grates on me, it's the making yourself smaller so that someone doesn't feel uncomfortable around you. And she used the example of that executive, or that man who she says is a powerful person, who, when she speak, if she would be talking in a room and, with him and whatever and other people, I guess, by the end of what she says, he's on the other side of the room. It's like he literally withdraws from her. If she's being her full self, he literally withdraws from her. And then when she saw him in this, and it's like Meghan was like, what are you kidding? And then she said she saw him in a hotel room in New York, and she just thought, let me try something else. She deliberately decided to whisper. And he, then he started coming forward and talking to her. And then she whispered again about why she was there. Yeah, I'm just here, I'm just trying to check in. And he's like, come sit with me. And it was just the most amazing thing. So when she is not being her full self, he is okay to come and be with her and, and talk with her. But when she is being who she was, as Megan says, standing in her power and being who she is, fully her. He just can't deal with it. And I understand in a way why, but it's still great. I'm like, I'm not settled in this. And I'd love to know what you guys think about that. Yeah. Because it's like, would you be okay with someone, even if it's like, okay, in order for me to reach this person, and in order for me to, have any kind of relationship with this person, I have to make myself smaller. Are you okay with that? I am just like, every time I think about it, every part of me screams, no. Mad World says, she's talking to Lydia. Lydia, unfortunately, some people are still intimidated by strong, powerful women. Stacey Abrams is a great advocate like Meghan. Very true. And especially if that woman is Black, and she also talked about, this person telling her that she intimidates them, and she had to be like, no, 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 it's not me. It's you choosing to be intimidated by me. I'm not intimidating. And Meghan even backed her up. It's like, no, you're not. You're not an intimidating person and all of that stuff. But someone will just, and I think back so much about, say, the bullying charges. That was also part of that, where people are like, oh my gosh, I'm just so afraid. And Meghan did nothing. And they just, their own thing, just choosing to be afraid, at least if they were, which could be a total lie as well. But it's just same thing of, you're intimidating me, or you're scaring me, or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not me, it's you. Just because you're intimidated or you're afraid doesn't mean I did anything to you. That's your choice. You're choosing how to respond to me based on your own preconceived ideas of who I am. And so I'd love to hear your take on this as well, because it was all grating on me. It was like, not that one again. I'm not settled. Joseph says, I admire strong women. I married one, and I don't mind her putting her foot down with me if I deserve it. There you go, Joseph. I'm telling you, this is great to hear. A lot of people, a lot of men and some women as well, a lot, especially when it comes to, say, a Black woman, especially white women, they're not okay with this. And then you hear all those, tropes come out that were difficult, that were, we are the B word, or, pick something else. We're intimidating, whatever that comes out. So it's good to hear that, Joseph. I just call you Robert. See, I'm thinking of Robert. Who is Robert? Are you here? Robert was in the wine bar earlier today. So let me see if Robert is here. But let's see. Hope Garden, hi Hope's Garden, says, oh, she's talking to Cookies and Cream. I was so sure that Stacey and Val were going to win, but they were both badly needed in Georgia and Florida. And yeah, two both Black women. And yeah, it's just, when you look and you see who they were running against, and you're like, you really voted for those people over two people that actually really, really care about you. And I think when it comes to especially Black women, and people would vote against their own interest to keep to keep us out of these positions. And even when we get in there, it's like, well, I'm going to torture you until you leave, and it's really wild how that is. And I feel, yeah, it really hurts. I was, for me, because I was more clued into Stacey, I really thought that Georgia would have come through for her. I really, really thought, but it's just, yeah, it's very sad. Let's see. Black Queen says, why do we have to make ourselves less than to massage your fragile ego? That's the thing that I battle with. And what Melanie was saying is like, no, nobody, she is choosing that. Nobody is making her you know, make herself small. She's choosing because, as she said, crouch and conquer. If she wants to conquer and she needs this person to do and to get somewhere, she talks about, you have to make it them feel like, they are benefiting from whatever it is you're saying. Because for them to invest, they need to know that they are benefiting from them. It's kind of one of those things that also grates on me is, sometimes as women, we sort of negotiate this. It's kind of like, okay, if we want if we want something and we say want a guy who is very reluctant to do something that we want them to do, one of the things that we do, that I've seen happen or done is that you would say something and then you would make them think that was their idea. And by the end of it, so it's kind of like you're tricky. And it's just like that, even that doesn't work for me. Because then I don't want to trick. So, you know what I mean? And so, I don't know. The whole thing, and I feel the same way as you, Black Queen. Like, why? Why would I want to make a choice to be smaller so that someone else, would feel, because I'm thinking, well, if I make myself small, isn't it better for me to call that person up to where I am instead of me making myself smaller so that they can, on the other hand, it's like, well, if someone isn't there, like for example, say a new employee and they're nervous and whatever, you become what they need. You become a friend, you gently guide them, whatever. But in that case, I could see, but in a case of where she was talking about the guy who is he's a, big executive or whatever he is, I don't see why I would make a choice to be smaller just for, you know what I mean? So that he would, not feel, or that, so that he would want to be around me. That I don't understand. So let's see. Moving up, I'm just checking through our chat to see what y'all saying. Mad World. Oh, she's talking to Melissa. It says it was that the black man turned out on Roland last night for Stacy, but she was missing the young white votes as well. Okay. That's interesting. So we're talking, and just in case you don't know, yesterday was election, a lot of state elections in the US. So that's what that Stacey Abrams, and if you see that in the chat, that's what they're talking about. So yeah. Ihoma says in Nigeria, the B word is an A word. Okay, the A word, okay. And that's the word there, and which means prostitute. Oh, okay. Here it is the first insult out of a man when a woman stands her ground. Wow. That is interesting because and if we remember part of the episode, Meghan was talking to Alison Yarrow about this very thing, and this is Alison Yarrow's book, and she was talking about in the 90s when women was really started to be out there. They were on TV. They were, they were on TV before, but really in a much larger, number. And, what is it? 24-hour news cycle was going on. And that was sort of the period where they really started attacking women with this word. And women who were, having the kind of power that they were having on television. There are all of these women who had influence and power. So many people would use this word to put them in their place. And this is the same kind of thing. And so she had mentioned people like, Dr. Anita Hill, even it's that whole Tanya Harding, whatever their situation. She talked about that girl with Bill Clinton. I can't remember her name right now, who was the intern. And they would just use this word with anybody who, was in the media eye at the time. And they didn't have to be controversial, but anyone that in the same way who stood her ground about something or stood up for something, in the case of, say, Dr. Anita, professor, or doctor or professor, what is she? I forgot. So I get the correct thing. But like Anita Hill and women like her, they would use this word. And so that's that. Even Meghan said that maybe that's why she gets hives about it, and she feels so strongly about it, because at the time there wasn't any kind of a pushback against people using this word, and they would use this word against women on television. I mean, she played clips of that, of this guy, I think he was calling Hillary Clinton that. And someone else, he was, I think it was Rihanna, that on TV, I think they were, and referring to them as that. And there was no kind of pushback. So we just sort of like take that in, and, at the time. So it's very interesting. And again, a lot of this has to do with women standing our ground. We refuse to, be the little flower that people can mold. Whenever we stand our ground on something, and or say or ask for what we want, or be clear and particular, as Meghan says, this is the word that's been thrown at us. So it's very interesting. And one of the things that I think, was it her or was it I don't oops, sorry, wrong one here. Was it her or Lucy? I think Lucy cooked. Lucy was let me take this off. Thank you, Ehoma. This is thank you for a little bit of Nigerian education there. I appreciate that. Either Alison or Lucy were they were talking about also how derogatory that word is, because when back in the day they would use this as the worst form, and literally, as Ehoma was saying, use it against women as calling them the W word, and it was this, like, a woman, basically, it's like a dog waiting for a man, a dog in heat waiting for a man. And that's the kind of, that is the venom, I think, that's behind that word, that's when it's thrown at women. So I'm telling you, it's so interesting. But let me go through and see where you guys are. Oh, wow. I am so sorry. Patricia Nixon, I'm sorry for your loss. Keeping your family in prayer. I am so sorry. Wow. I mean, I don't know. I don't know from what I'm seeing here, who in your family or friend that has passed, but I am so sorry. My condolences to you and your family. Gosh, there are so many things going on. I am so sorry. Wow. Goodness. And you're here. Oh my goodness. So, let's definitely keep Patricia in our prayers and her family. And again, I don't see any details from here. So, if someone want to say or share what happened, or, I mean, no pressure if you don't want to. So yeah, but again, my deep condolences to you and your, yeah. Oh, I see her post. Oh, wow. Struggling a bit with the loss of my nephew, but one day at a time. Oh, wow. I am so sorry, Patricia. I am so sorry. Wow. Hoy. Wow. I will be praying for your family, and I know the squad community would definitely, as I'm seeing in the chat, will definitely be praying for you and your family. So sorry about that. Wow. Oh, well, moving on. Let's see, Cynthia. Wow, it's hard to move on from that. Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Cynthia says, the B word was something that my parents told me. It means one is the S word. I didn't use that word either, pertaining to a stray female dog that goes with all the male dogs. I will never claim that word. And so, yeah, okay, there you go. Really, well, when you think about that, yeah, it would be a little bit hard to claim that. So, yeah, again, we see things so differently. So, yeah, thank you, Cynthia, for sharing that. Let's see. I also love, again, as I read earlier, I also love how Meghan talked about when you throw that word at someone, usually a woman, strong woman, a woman who, standing her ground, is a lot of times is to hide her great qualities. And I love that because, I think in terms of Meghan, when they throw that, oh, Dutch is difficult at Meghan, or that, oh, Meghan is a bully, all of a sudden, that's all people will talk as, at least, those who want to talk about that. That's most that because it's such big words and it's kind of like these big red flag words. So when you attach that to a person, that's all you see. And you don't see the amazing person that, that's behind those, the actual real person. And I so agree with that, because I mean, look at what they did to her when they throw all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's a bully. Then all of who she is that we are seeing now, that we saw before, and then, for at least those who knew her before, I didn't know her before, Harry, but for the people who knew her before, and for what I'm reading about who she was before, and then who she's been after the 18 months she spent at, with the royal family in the UK, all of this amazing woman was hidden because why? They threw out those huge red flag words in front of her. And then all they could see on that island is, oh, she is difficult. Oh, she is a bully. Oh, she is all of that stuff. And that is so true. It is so true. They throw it out so that they can hide who you really are underneath that. And so it is so damaging. And I love how she said, instead of that word, think of all the other amazing B words that you can use. Beautiful, beguiling, all these beautiful words that she came up with. And I was like, I love that. Instead of, embracing that one. Let's see. Bright Eyes PBJ says she chose to crouch to get what she wanted from that person. Sometimes straight up beast mode will not crack the ceiling. Look at where Mellody is now to make a difference. There you go. This was kind of the same thing someone said to me earlier. Oh, was that you that said that to me, Bright Eyes PBJ? Could be you or someone else gave me this advice. Yeah, she chose to crouch. And that's one of the things she was saying. And she's like, no, I am choosing, nobody's making me. I am choosing this to crowd so that she can get from the person what she wants from the person. It still grates on me that she has to crouch. But I understand this. Even though it still grates on me. But no, this is good. It's like that becoming what they need so that you can get what you want. And so great explanation there, Bright Eyes PPJ. Thank you so much. Let's see. Scrolling up. Glendia Butt says, Mellody did what she needed to become successful in her professional life. I call it compromise. Yeah, that, you know, that's a great word too. That's a great way of looking at it too. She compromised to get what she's like, okay, I'll give a little so that I could get. And sometimes in relationships there, you know, we do need to compromise. So that's, I like this. I like this explanation as well. So thank you guys. I'm learning a lot because again, when she said it on that deal book thing, I was like, no. And then when she said it here again, I was like, no, don't say it. I don't want to hear it. Let's see. I think everybody's talking about the election. I mean, the election is so, yeah. I've been like trying to like, I sort of peek in and peek out of that election stuff. So it's just like, oh, it's just too much. Was mad when Mad was like, Lydia, let's not forget Texas. They reelected a man that pretty much turned a blind eye to those kids getting killed in those schools. Yeah. And that's one of the reasons I'm just keeping an eye in and an eye out because I will get so frustrated. At this point, I'm ready to like, can we secede from Texas and Florida? That's where I am with all this mess. It's like, can we just like leave them out there and let them do their own thing and we just secede from them, you know? Because yeah, and also, you know, talk about Texas. In Uvalde, Texas, 70% of you, what is it, 70 or 77% of Uvalde, Texas, voted for him. Yeah, they voted for the same governor who did not care that all their kids got killed. 77% of Uvalde, Texas voted for that whatever his name. What is his name? I think I'm deliberately forgetting. It's just like yeah, because I would get very upset just thinking about it. I was like, Meghan and Harry are just supporting that community, and squatties just gave them benches, and they went and voted for Republican who doesn't care about them. And I think, you know, you get to a point where sometimes you just have to let people, you have to let them fall instead of trying to save and save and save. Yeah, you do what you can, but at some point you just have to let people just, that's what they want. They rather have someone there that don't care, that doesn't care about them. And it's like, if you know, could go through what you went through, and with a governor that does not care about you, and you choose 77 or 70 or 77% of you of that same community decide to go vote for that same person who literally doesn't care about you, then there's really nothing you can do. So there really is nothing you can do. So yeah. Emerald says, keeping strong Black women in their place is their goal. Not anymore. Yeah, that is exactly the goal. That is exactly the goal. And, you know, again, this word doesn't just, I mean, it is a lot, the majority of the time thrown at Black women, but women of other races get the same thing, especially if they're, you know, they are CEOs, for example, you know, Victoria Jackson, the same thing, you know, again, she is the CEO of her cosmetics line. And it's so funny because when Meghan talked about the infomercial, I'm like, I've seen her infomercial before, you know, years and years and years and years ago when I used to watch television. I've seen her and I saw her infomercial. Obviously didn't know anything about her. Don't even wear makeup. So I wouldn't even know what to do with it. But just what she went through, you know, I mean, oh my gosh, the trauma of, she's talking about, you know, being stabbed and you know, that guy breaking into her room, and then you know, then her going spending $70 million of her money to basically save her child's life. And amazingly, the her daughter is now 29, and she was 13. She was only given 4 years to live. So really, she should have been dead when she was 17. And so it's just amazing what she's gone through. And just here talking about just really wielding her power, and that it's like, look, we need to work together. This is how we need to do it. We need to work as a community, and how we research and how we publish our findings and all of those things. And if we don't do it this way, we're gonna have a new way of how we approach this, or else I'm not writing you a check. And she had to overcome those. I'm sure there were eyebrows raised, and there was this woman, and she's like, it's her money, and it's her research, especially to save her daughter and those that come after her daughter. But she talked about the pushback for herself, that she had to overcome. And maybe not so much, especially I guess because she's a mom trying to save her child. So in some way she could have been cut a little bit of a slack, but they were there as well. And she talked about having to overcome those. And so, yeah, anytime a woman is standing in her power, and she's a boss, whatever, owner, there's going to be this where people are trying to put you in your place. It is just, yeah, amazing. Let's see. Mary, Mary. Hi, Mary. Wait a minute. Isn't there a gospel group that's called Mary Mary? Is that you, Mary Mary? No, sure not. But but I think, am I wrong? I think there's a gospel group that's called Mary Mary, I think. But anyway, this Mary Mary says, Meghan is genius, brilliant woman tackling tough questions. They underestimated her worth. Too bad. Yep. And it's so funny because if thinking about all of the topics of archetypes, and it's like, I love the fact that she gets to speak on all of these things that they have thrown at her. And so now it has put those on Shutter Island kind of on the defensive about about those topics, especially because we know how prominently the Duchess Difficult was thrown at her. So they are now on the defensive as to how to deal with the fact that Meghan has her voice, she has a podcast, she has a platform, and she gets to speak, and people get to listen to what she's saying. And now they're like on the back foot, like, oh, she's just trying to get herself out of being called a bully or being called difficult, so that's why she's you. I'm like, well, you've thrown lies at her, so you expected to put her in a place, and she is calling you out with what she's doing. And of course, when you call them out, they don't like it. So yeah. Cynthia Ashton says, hi, Petal. The B word is something that my parents told me it means. Oh, wait, did I see this before? I think I got this one before. I think either that or someone said the exact same word. So I think I got that one before. Let's see. Connie Barmer says, a law was passed here that no one must say the N-word. Lots of people are very careful to mention it, but some whisper or behind doors. So Connie, wherever you are that this law, was it law that Black people as well are not supposed to say it? And is there a situation where someone's saying, well, I'm not saying that word because it's the ER word, but I'm using the A, therefore I'm reclaiming it and turning it into an A, and stripping it up. I mean, is that a situation where you are? So let us know. I'd be interested to find out. Let's see. Joyce says Harry and Meghan use the negative terms used as a weapon against them into powerful words: spare, diva, liar. Yeah. And I love that. And that is what has put them on the defensive. That's why all of a sudden the same people who were throwing spare at Harry, and we know how, they had all the derogatory meaning behind that word, throwing in his face all the time, and all of a sudden he used that word and throw it right back at them, and they're acting like, oh, it's a new teaching, we've never heard that word before. Really, you went to say that word? Oh, it's just a royal family would call it, but he was a very happy spare. Really? And so there was that. And and obviously we see Meghan now using and tackling all of those things in every and the wonderful thing about it is that the world is listening to Meghan. So all of a sudden they're getting to see those words that were thrown at Meghan in a bigger context, and so now they're on their back foot and upset. So of course, let's see. Terry says, Meghan said the B word almost makes her break out in hives. Yeah, she really hates it. She's like, I am not reclaiming this. I am not reclaiming this. And I was like, yes, I totally feel the same. I absolutely feel the same. Church Nelly says, I'm stunned that Mellody was allowed to go to the dentist alone. My mother would never let me in the doctor office by myself. And, remember what Meghan says? Meghan is like, I need to up my game as a mom, as a self-sufficient mom. I need to up my game. But, it's very true. It's like, but, she was saying when she did that, it didn't surprise her mom because of how she was raised, where she had to come up with a plan for everything that she wanted to do. And so, and it's made her who she is now. And so, yeah, my grandmother was so protective. Goodness, I remember when I was 16, I had planned that I was going to move, and I had decided where I was going to move. And, I didn't even have a job, but, I was going to move, and I was going to move into town. And I remember the apartment building that I decided I was going to live in and all of that stuff. And I had my whole plan at 16. And my grandmother was like, no. She was like, absolutely not hearing any of it, because for me at 16 I was like, I'm a woman, I can do it. And she was not. I mean, if we're from the Caribbean, you stay home until you're married. That's kind of the thing there. And for me, I had this independent mind at 16 that I was going to move. Eventually at 18 I moved moved here, and moved on my own into a whole new country all by myself. My mom was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna die. Yeah. But and if you knew me then, I was so shy. I can understand why my mom was freaked out. But yeah, it's just is some of us, our families are very protective, but her mom was like, no, she could do it by herself, and she did, and even got a payment plan. And and as she lauded the doctor that, sat there and talked to a 12-year-old and gave her a payment plan, that was really good. And, I can't imagine how proud she must have been of herself, that she was able to go and speak to a professional who gave her a payment plan, and she got it done. Her mom, obviously her mom had to help her with that, but she got what she wanted. And I really, 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 that's why Meghan is like, ooh, I gotta up my game. So yeah. Let's see. Patricia says, oh, Pedal, you're right, you just let people learn the hard way. Yeah, I mean, if talking about the Texas and Florida, that's all you can do. You just a lot of it has to do with a lot of really bad things Republican did, with voting and all of that stuff there. But again, look, 77% of you voting for people that they don't like you, they don't care about you, then there's really nothing you can do. There literally is nothing you can do. So yeah. Cookies and cream, our awesome moderator says, those fools don't realize that they can lose their entire freedom. These racists want everything to go back to the way it used to be. They want to go back to Jim Crow. Yeah, it's very obvious what they're going. And these people, they don't mind. They don't mind, it seems. And again, sometimes you literally have to let people fall. And I think that in the same way when I think of, if you've had friends who were alcoholics or have some kind of addiction in any way. I mean, I've had friends who have taken to, what we call chemical recovery and stuff like that. And one of the things I learned through that is like, you can only do so much. And sometimes some people, you would think they hit rock bottom and they haven't, and they just refuse to do what needs to be done to get better. And sometimes you can't always pick up the pieces for them, because if you are with an addict or you live with an addict or you're addicted parents, our nature is to go behind them and clean up and to make it pretty for them and to sort of just be there to help and to just be that. Sometimes you just have to let them fall. You have to let them hit rock bottom. And that's the only way they will change. It's like some people have to get to a place where it's kind of like, okay, I either die. I have two options. I die or I change. And sometimes you have to just let people go there instead of trying to always clean up and it's like, no, just let them fall. And they let them decide either I change the way I'm going or I will die. Those are your options. And so I kind of feel that way sometimes. There's only so much you can do, so, and it's sad. It is very, very, very sad. I mean, I lost one of my very, very, she's not dead, but we're just not, our relationships wasn't there because of this very thing. I had to let go. And I don't know if she ever hit bottom. And that's the sad part of that, so I mean, it's the same thing I apply to this. It's kind of like you can't make someone choose what is best for them. B10 Powell says, yes, there is a gospel group called Mary Gray. I love. Oh, okay, there you go. I was like, I know that name. Yeah. Yeah, because I think it's them. I think it's them that maybe some different people, but I think this is take the shackles off my feet so I can dance. I just want to praise you. I think that's I think that's a song from them. I think I may be wrong, but yeah. Mary. Lydia says there's a Campbell sisters that go by Mary. Oh, I don't know their names. I don't know, but that could be. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe there's another Mary, or maybe this is the same Mary. So, let's see. So anyway, let's see what else I have here. Give me 1 second. Let's see what else I got. One of the Meghan, if you can see Meghan's very beautiful handwriting on the left there. Here we go. She wrote a little card to Allison in her beautiful handwriting. It's like, great thanks for your contribution to Archetypes. I appreciate your time and insight. And Allison posted this on her Instagram. She says, I love listening to Archetypes with Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. However, I am partial to today's episode, to be or not to be, a link in bio, because it does such important work dissecting and trying to understand the archetypes of B. Meghan doesn't use the word in the episode, a choice I didn't expect. Perhaps I should have, but one that I really appreciate, considering her incredible influence and reach. It's a word that I work hard to avoid because of what I know about where it comes from and how it has been used systematically to derogate women. Thrilled to be part of this meaningful project, incredibly touched by this gorgeous thank you. And look at Meghan's handwriting. It's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And Yeah, let's see. And also Victoria Jackson wrote this on her Instagram. I loved sitting down with Meghan on her podcast Archetypes to discuss being ambitious and difficult. I don't believe the type. Listen on Spotify. And I love the fact that, one of the things that someone posted on. Oh, wait a minute. Sonia is saying my screen is a bit fuzzy. Objects are not clear all of a sudden. Oh my goodness. I don't know why. Oh, is that happening to everyone? Is your screens not showing? Huh. I'm not sure. So you can let me know so then I could check it for the next one to see if there's something that I'm doing wrong on my end. So, but thanks for letting me know, Sonia. Thank you for letting me know about that. Yeah, that's weird. Yes, Madwell was saying try refreshing your screen if it okay. Madwell said it's clear. WED said it's clear. So try refreshing, Madwell, and see if that's all right. So yeah, I'm sorry, Sonia. Try refreshing and see if that helps. So it seemed to be clear for other people. Yeah. So I didn't realize. So going back to this, I didn't realize Meghan and Victoria were great friends. And one of the things, one of the squaddies on Twitter was saying is like they noticed like when the British press, when they're writing about the archetypes, they never write about the women that Meghan are talking to. They only focus on Meghan. They're not, and and someone else was saying, that is so that because their narrative is that Meghan has no friends. She is this bully and difficult person that nobody wants to be around her. So all of a sudden, Meghan has all of these incredible women on there who are her friends, and some are, and some are acquaintances, whatever. But they're never writing about these women. It's only trying to pick Meghan apart, and so it's just really incredible. And just to see, it's like, yeah, this is Meghan's with her billionaire friend Victoria, her incredible, her businesswoman, also a billionaire. And one of the incredible things about this is Meghan never had to even mention who Mellody is married to. And I love that. I love that that wasn't even part of the conversation because Mellody doesn't need it. She is who she is, and she doesn't even need, and I love that because, especially, the way how, say, the royalists think. It's like, oh, you just marry this person for their money or for their power or their influence. And here they are with all of these two incredible women, multi-millionaire. And someone even mentioned that Melanie is also part owner of the Denver Broncos, the football team. And we never had to mention who she's married to. And it's just like, yeah. And so that is like, they are incredible on their own. I mean, I don't know who if Victoria Jackson is married. I have no idea. I didn't even check. So, well, actually, no, she didn't mention her husband when she was talking about her daughter, but I don't know who he is, and I didn't even look. So there you go. And it wasn't needed. So, oh, good to know, Sonia. I'm glad that was strange. I'm glad it's better. So yeah. So, but yeah, these incredibly powerful women, they are powerful on their own. And these are just quickly some of the comments from Archetypes. Walter Oud said, such a good reminder that oftentimes other people's behavior and reactions say more about that person than about you. Meghan Markle. Loki shot at those whose projection of hate against her are a manifestation of their insecurities. Word, And then below it says, when the B word is shouted with 1 and 10, but you're able to let it go and remind yourself of all the other words with B that better describes you: beautiful, blessed, brilliant, beguiling, blissful, bedazzling. Take your pick. Be that person. And I love how they're quoting Meghan here, because that at the end of the podcast she says this, and I love that. Victoria Whitlock says, I love the segment with Mellody Hobson. P.S. Women should never tone down themselves because there's a man on their level or higher who will love them for who they are. or woman, I would say. Whether it's just in terms of friendship or business relationship or romantic, anybody, I would say, that's how I feel. You should never tone down or feel like you need to. But again, on the flip side of, difference of how Mellody does it. And also, listening to Archetypes on Spotify, and says, Megan, I can definitely relate to to taping our favorite shows on VHS. However, she recorded more educational shows like Jeopardy, and I was fixated on recording each and every Raptors game. Well, there you go, different priorities. And Jay Rudderman at the bottom, he's also a podcaster. It says, way to go, Meghan Markle. On her latest podcast episode, Archetypes with Megan, she dissects the bee and how it's used to undermine and gaslight strong women. And Jay Rudderman, is always so supportive of Megan and her work. And Henrietta decided to quote the lyrics of the theme song: I am woman, I am fearless, I am sexy, I'm divine, I'm unbeatable, I am creative, honey, you could get in line. I'm feminine, I'm masculine, I'm anything I want. I can teach you, I can love you if you got it going on. Highlight of my Tuesday commute. I love that. I love that song. I mean, I hope you guys have gotten a moment to listen to the song. It's amazing. And that girl is like 22 years old. She is amazing. And I just love it. So that's just a little bit of people. I mean, there are so many other comments about Megan, and this is our poll. But one of the things I saw this, her campus did an article about 5 podcasts that make you feel like you're the main character. And Megan's podcast was one of the 5. I mean, think of all the podcasts that are out there. And Megan is one of the 5 that they chose. And so, and I read a bit of it. It says, Archetypes is one of the most professional sounding podcasts with exceptional production value, featuring well-known guests such as Lisa Ling, Mindy Kaling, hosted by Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. The podcast critically analyzes a range of sexist stereotypes that are often intersectionally rooted in issues surrounding race and classism. Featuring an all-female guest list, each episode is told from a perspective of the powerful women in society who are often plagued by the sexist label that perpetuate harm. One of my favorite episodes, called Demystifying the Dragon Lady with Margaret Cho and Lisa Ling, explains the racist undertones of the Dragon Lady stereotype, which still quite common in mainstream entertainment. Archetypes allow listeners to immerse themselves in the perspective of famous women while still recognizing that these stereotypes impact those of us who are mere low-key social status. With a more low-key social status. And I love this. And so I love that, people are just feeling like, wow, I am the main character here because it applies to me. So I absolutely, absolutely love that. So kudos to Megan. And Crane's Chicago featured the episode, and also Chicago Popular featured the episode. They use the same pictures. So Chicago, Mellody is from Chicago. And it's so amazing with all these people, who either are from Chicago, who got their big break or did big things in Chicago, like, former First Lady Michelle Obama and Barack Obama. He ended up in Chicago from Hawaii and New York, and Mellody and Oprah, she had her show there. So many of these people are, have their roots in Chicago, and so they they feature the episode as well. And so yeah, I just absolutely love it. And of course, our fave yesterday, everyone went out for vote, but I love this. I love Megan. And of course, the president of Archwell did, and I posted it in our community page, wrote a really incredible article for Harper's Bazaar, Mandana Dayani, about voting. She is also the co-founder of I Am a Voter. And so, Archwell did this on their site, helping people and giving people resources for yesterday. This was all from yesterday. And this is Megan in her oh, that thing cut off their hat because that is an Archwell, Archwell merch. And so everybody is now talking about Archwell merchandise that, and then there is this reporter on a Australian television literally lying today, claiming that the news anchors, these people who always attacking Harry and Meghan, all of a sudden they're seeing Meghan and Harry in, their hat, they see the water bottle and all of that Archwell thing that I'm also wanting some of. But they see it and now they all want it. And that lying reporter claimed that, oh yeah, you could just go to Archwell site and the link is there. And I was like, there is no link in Archwell. They don't sell any of this stuff. If they sold any of this stuff, believe me, you wouldn't get it because squatties would have bought all of it. So but it's just amazing how literally bold-faced lie to people, bold-faced lie to their audience that, oh, they could just go on the Archwell site and purchase these items. And it's like, there is no link. So, of course, people online are calling them out. But, I just, I love it. I love Meghan was out there doing her thing, doing her civil duty, and going out to vote and encouraging others to vote. And again, Mandana Dayani is the co-founder of I Am a Voter. So talk about two people who just, I'm sure, have such a great time working together because so many of their values just line up. It's just amazing. But finally, Joan Goodall has this little quote. She says, "It actually doesn't take much to be considered a difficult woman. That's why there's so many of us." And if you're a Black woman, all you got to do is breathe. That's it. Or just be alive and you're difficult. It really doesn't take much. As a Black or brown person, all you got to do is just breathe. And somebody was just like, oh, you breathe. Oh, you're so difficult. So very interesting. But anyway, I'm just going to stay in the chat for a couple more minutes. Let's see. Cookies and Cream says, Meghan looks extremely happy and at peace and living her best life. I know, right? And that, how long we've prayed for them to just be happy and at peace and hanging out under a tree. It's just like, that is just so good. It does the heart good to know that, she just looks so happy. So very happy. Oh, thank you so much, Lydia. You are awesome. Lydia, I just appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Always supporting, always encouraging and supporting in every way. I absolutely appreciate that. Thank you. Catherine Bryan says, nobody pays them no mind except for the royals. I'm assuming you're talking about lying reporters. Yeah. Let's see. And Lydia says, the media lie. They just lie and lie. It's amazing. They're just a bald-faced lie with it's just nothing there. Like if you don't know they're lying, you just wouldn't know. You just will take what they say. The only reason we know is because we know. We know Archwell and we're always on their site looking for stuff. So we know that it's not there. It's just, they just lie for no reason. I'm like, are you kidding me? So, but anyways, and when you call them out, they will sit there and bold-faced like, oh, no, I'm not lying. Anyways. Gail says, can someone put the voting link for Archetypes, please? Thanks. I think today's the last day. Yes, it's already in the show notes of this video. So it's already there. So you can just go click on in the show notes, and it's probably one of the first things you'll see in under show notes. You'll see the link there. It's also in our on our community page, and I think I'll do another post of it when I'm done so that will be the top link that you'll see. But again, it's already in the show notes here on this video. So you can go ahead and yes, today is the final day that you can vote. And yes, you can vote 25 times on there. And if you're on Twitter, you can do retweets of that specific thing. I voted for Archetypes, whatever. And that is also counted as a vote. So yeah. the amount of time we vote, hopefully Meghan is big enough so that it would push her over that threshold, and that way she will win. So that would be amazing. Let's see. Okay, Gail. Yep, it's in the show notes, Gail. So it's there. Patricia Ann says every Sunday they play that song on a radio station. Oh, really? Okay, there you go. Are we talking about "I Am Woman"? Oh, wait, which song are you talking about? Are you talking about "I Am Woman" or are you talking about the "Mary Mary" song? Take a shackles off my feet so I can dance. So let me know which one of the songs you're talking about. So since you said it's Sunday, I'm assuming it's the Mary Mary song. So yeah. Let's see. Church Nelly says, Dr. Maya Angelou, love Dr. Maya Angelou's poem, Still I Rise, perfectly describes Meghan and all of us. Exactly. We rise above those words. We rise above it. And then, as Meghan says, we think of other words to use that describe us. I mean, again, if you embrace it and you feel like you take the power out of it, we all look at stuff like that differently, and it means different thing to us. For me personally, I mean, again, I feel the same way with the N-word. I can't embrace it. I just don't see, for me, how that helps me. I don't see the logic behind it. I don't see how you take the power back from stuff like that. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I will just leave those words as the derogatory word that they are, and describe myself in a different way. So there. Oh, thank you, Nash. Says there are 334 of us on the podcast. And an old 140. Oh, please, yes. All 332 of us. If you haven't already, please hit the like button. And if you are new here and haven't subscribed, please hit the subscription so the subscribe button. I'm gonna put my banner back here because I always forget. And so yeah, hit that subscribe button and also the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. And join us 2 Cents Crew. And so so that you support our channel. And I have a question. Now that I don't know how many people have already watched The Crown, I am thinking, I will watch it and maybe do some reviews. So you can tell me if that's a cool thing we can do, some reviews of what we think of the episodes. I'm still debating. I hope they don't two sides this, which I'm afraid they'll do, which will really get me irritated. Maybe I'll review that too. So that, I don't know, if you've watched it, at all, what you think, but maybe next episode we can talk about that if I decided to watch it. Donna says, but I saw that British reporter in LA, yes, lying about it. That's the guy. That is the guy. What is his name? Peter Ford, I think his name is. I think his name is Peter Ford. He says, I saw that British reporter. Oh, I thought he was Australian. Okay. I guess he's British. Reporter. Well, yeah. And lying about H&M merching. They're trying to promote the removal of titles. Meghan's personality is cheerful. Even half bro said she was like that since childhood. Oh, her half brother. Oh, okay. It's just Peter Ford lying. Oh, here it is. If you in the chat, if you want Lydia's look at Lydia's post. Lydia's put the link to the voting is there as well. Again, it is on the it is in the show notes of this video. Joy says Hillary Clinton was on a radio show yesterday speaking for Meghan. I also saw it once. She was talking up for Meghan. It was on BBC radio. Hillary has always stood up for Meghan. She has always supported her, always backed her. that's why it's kind of like when it comes to Meghan, I'm like, yep, Hillary has been there. She, in the worst of times, Hillary and Chelsea have been supportive, but mostly Hillary. So I'm not surprised to hear this at all. I didn't realize, I didn't hear it. So, but I am not surprised at all. Lydia likes the idea of a review. Okay, there you go. So I guess I'm gonna have to watch it. Even though I tweeted like, I am not gonna watch it. Okay, I can change and I can watch it and we can do a review of it. But how about, since I put the link in here and nobody called in, so if I'm doing this, I am not going to do this by myself. Y'all going to have to call in and y'all going to help me with this, because I'm kind of gritting my teeth and doing it. So that means all of us going to watch it, and then you call in and we all share the episode and we can, talk about what we think about it. How about that? I like that idea better. And some of you are like, I don't want to call. So you cannot leave me hanging. If I'm going to make the sacrifice and watch it, y'all going to have to, well, you're going to be watching it, but you're going to call in and also tell me, okay. She's like, yes, review. I'm not watching. Joan, I just said, you're going to have to watch it and call in and help me with it. Oh, fine. Joyce is watching. Okay. She'll be watching The Crown. All right. Auntie Jane says yes. Okay. There you go. Madwell says we can compare fact from fiction. Okay. All right. So I'm going to watch it. And then you guys watch it. And then we all jump in. And so there you go. That is a plan then. It is a plan. So I'll watch it tonight, and then we can chat about it tomorrow. So awesome. So anyways, let's see. Kathy, you're going to get the last word. Let's see. Kathy says, language evolved. The B word is a simple part of the cultural, societal, linguistic evolution process. Blah, blah, blah. Context change meanings. We can choose to use or not. Oh, very, very wise. Very wise words. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. So anyway, so we'll end there. And then I am going to run off, and then I'm going to go watch. I guess I'm going to go watch The Crown, episode 1. And so we can talk about episode 1 tomorrow. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and chatting archetypes. And we look forward to whatever maybe next week it'll be like, I don't know, Gold Digger or something like that. I could see that. We can just, we can probably do another poll to see what they're going to talk about. But anyways, either way, thank you all so much for hanging out with me and chatting with me about it. And I appreciate it. So I will chat with you tomorrow. I will see you tomorrow. And whatever you're doing today, enjoy. Have a great day as we end this with some. So I love you guys. I will chat with you tomorrow. Bye.